Hey mathematicians, today we are going to focus on writing two-step equations to match our real-world situations. Two-step equations means that two things have to happen to our variable. We could solve them as well, so if you feel like you want to solve these and get that extra practice, by all means go for it. I'm going to worry more about the writing of the equations. So if we look at problem number 1, that is the I do problem. I'm going to model it for you. We have Adela, Rachel, and Santo taking pictures at a Purim celebration. Adela takes 7 more pictures than Rachel. Santo takes 4 times as many pictures as Adela. Santo takes 48 pictures. How many pictures does Rachel take? So I'm going to label what I know. I'm going to give them each a letter just to represent it, so I'm not writing their names over and over again. I know they're taking pictures. I'm going to write down here to keep track of what everyone does. I'm looking for Rachel's picture, so I probably won't have anything here. Adela takes 7 more pictures than Rachel. So I know if I take Rachel's amount and I add 7, that's how many Adela has. Cool? Santo takes 4 times as many pictures as Adela. So if I take Adela's amount and I multiply it by 4, that will tell me how many Santo has. I also know Santo takes 48 pictures. So I know that 4 times Adela must be equal to 48. Well, I don't know Adela's amount, but I do know that Adela had whatever Rachel's was plus 7. So I can plug that in for Adela. 4 times R plus 7, Rachel's amount increased by 7, equals 48. Now I have an equation that shows me how many pictures Rachel would take in comparison to the other people. I can solve for R and figure out how many pictures Rachel takes. Number 2 is our we do, and I'm in class, you would help me with this. I'm just going to go through this real quick. A rectangular garden sits next to a house. Well, if they're telling me that the garden is a rectangle, I'm going to go ahead and draw that rectangle. I don't know why my garden is red. It's fine. It's all tomatoes. So that's my garden. It's next to a house, and there's fencing on 3 sides of the garden. So I'm going to put fencing on 1, 2, 3 sides of my garden. Okay. The 4th side is the house. So here is my house. Okay. There is a total of 21.5 meters of fencing around the garden. So I know that this and this and this are going to add up to 21.5. The length of the garden along the house is 9 meters. What equation can be used to find the width W of the garden in meters? Well, if this side is 9 meters, this side also has to be 9 meters. And if that's the length, that must be the width here. So I have to find out what those 3 sides would add up to. Well, 21.5. So I can do W plus W plus 9, because I need all 3 sides, is equal to 21.5. I can take this a step further, and I can combine like terms. Because I've got 2 W's here, I can call it 2W plus 9 equals 21.5. And that looks just like the equations we've been working with. We could subtract and divide and solve what that is. Okay? So now you're going to solve a problem, and I'll read it out and get you started, and then I want you to pause the video and then come back and check your work. Kelly, Safara, and Daniel keep track of how many graphic novels they read over the summer. Kaylee reads 6 graphic novels fewer than Safara, so if I know Safara's, I can find 6 less than that. Daniel reads 3 times as many as Kaylee, and Daniel reads 30 graphic novels. How many graphic novels does Safara read? So I want you to please pause this video, write your equation, and then come back to see how you did. Welcome back. You should have gotten the equation 3 times the quantity s minus 6 equals 30. S minus 6 is how many Kaylee read, and we know that Daniel had 3 times as many as that. So there is our equation for that. Could you solve that if you wanted to? Yep, but I'm not worried about that right now. All right, here is your last you do for this type of problem. Bao makes a mural. She spends 6 hours designing it. She paints it during 3 sessions. Each session is the same number of hours long. So I know I could do session plus session plus session to figure out the total hours on her sessions. In all, Bao spends 24 hours making the mural. Write an equation you can use to find H, the hours of each painting session. So they did tell us what variable to use for her hours. Go ahead and write your equation while you pause this video, and then unpause when you're ready to check. All right, so you can see I started off with the equation 6 plus H plus H plus H equals 24, where H was the number of hours in a session. We have 3 H's because there were 3 sessions. So 6 is our designing, and H is each session's hours. I went ahead and combined my like terms to get 3H, and I still added on my 6 because she still had her designing time, and it's equal to 24. Number 5, DeMarco has a piece of ribbon that is 6 yards long. He uses a piece that is 3 yards long. He cuts the rest into pieces that are each 3/4 yard long. How many 3/4 yard pieces does DeMarco have? Write an equation you can use to solve the problem. So this is a new problem type. I'm going to model this one for you. I am noticing in this problem that we do have a one-time use thing, and then we have something that happens over and over again. We also have a total. Our total is 6 yards long. So we're going to say 6 equals, and then the one-time thing is that 3 yards that he uses, right? So he uses 3 yards in one go. And then he uses 3/4 of a yard and 3/4 of a yard and 3/4 of a yard over and over again until he runs out. So I need to figure out how many pieces he would have. I could do 3/4 plus 3/4 plus 3/4 plus 3/4, or I could multiply by the number of pieces he has. I don't know how many pieces he has. I'm going to use a variable. So 3/4 times, I'm going to call it P for pieces. So I know this is how much he uses in those 3/4 pieces. This is how much he uses at first, and 6 is our total. That is our equation to represent that scenario. Number 6, this is what we normally do as a we do. Noden makes soap sculptures of sea turtles. Each sculpture weighs 3/8 of a pound. He ships them in a wooden box that weighs 2 pounds. The total weight of the box filled with T sea turtles is 5 pounds. How many sea turtles are in the box? Write an equation that you can use to find the number of turtles. So I'm thinking about this scenario, and I'm picturing him boxing up these soap sculptures. And I can picture him getting out a box and putting a soap sculpture in, and another one, and another one, and another one. So my repeated item is the sea turtles, right? He's putting those in multiple times. So I got to write an equation representing all of this. The total weight is 5 pounds, so I know 5 is equal to the weight of the box with the weight of the sea turtles. Well, how much does a box weigh? 2 pounds. And then each of those sea turtles is going to make it heavier by 3/8 of a pound. And every time I add one, that's another 3/8. Rather than add it up repeatedly, I'll just multiply it by the number of turtles, which is T. There's my equation. 3/8 times T plus 2 equals 5. Remember, when you are adding, the order doesn't matter. So it's okay to say this. It's okay to put your 5 over here. That is okay. All right, number 7. This is a you try. Carolina fosters 5 puppies. For each puppy, she buys a crate that costs $C and a leash that costs $20. She spends $475 total. What equation models this situation? So I'm going to have you pause the video, give you about 3 minutes with your table partners, and when you come back, unpause the video, check to see how you did. All right, welcome back. So we know that Carolina spends $475 total, so our total goes off by itself. We know that every puppy gets a crate that costs $C, and since there are 5 puppies, that's going to be represented as 5C. That's our over and over again cost. And we know that she's going to buy a leash that costs $20, and I can figure out how much that would cost, right? If it's $20 per leash for 5 puppies, That's $100. So now I could use that equation to figure out the cost of the crate if I needed to. Number 8 is another you try problem. So Malik joins a gym. He gets a discount of $2 per month of the regular monthly rate for 3 months. Malik pays $49.50 for 3 months. What is the gym's regular monthly rate? R. Write an equation to model the situation. So think about what you know, what you need to know. Pause this video for about 3 minutes. Come back when you're ready to check your answer. All right, so we have the expression 3m minus 6 representing that rate that he pays. 3m tells us it's 3 months of that monthly rate. And the minus 6 comes from saving $2 per month for 3 months. So that's a saving of $6 because he is saving that money. He's not paying it. That's going to be a subtraction. Okay, so 3m minus 6. And then we know that he pays $49.50 for those 3 months, so it's equal to $49.50. All right, number 9. This one is an I do problem. Luis is shopping for gifts. Mugs are on sale for $4 off the regular price. P. Luis buys 6 mugs. That's supposed to say Luis, sorry. He pays a total of $54. Write an equation to model the situation. So we know mugs are on sale for $4 off the regular price P, so it would be P minus 4. We know he buys 6 mugs, and they are all decreased by that amount. So here is our cost for 6 mugs. It's the price minus $4 times 6. And how much does he spend on all 6 mugs? $54. So 6 times P minus 4 equals 54. We have a group, that is the price of the mug. We have the number of groups, that is 6, and we have the total price, that is 54. Number 10, this is our we do problem. Lily's family donates money to charity each year. Lily's brother donates $3 more than Lily. Her parents donate 4.5 times as much as Lily's brother. Her parents donate $45. Write an equation to model the situation. Well, we know that brother donates $3 more than Lily. So we can say 3 plus L is the brother, right? Her parents donate 4.5 times as much as Lily's brother. If this is the brother, we can multiply by 4.5 to get the parents' amount. And we know they donate $45. So our group is how much Lily's brother donated. The number of groups is 4.5 because the parents donated 4.5 times as much, and the total was 45. Number 11 is a you do problem, so after I read this, you're going to pause and get started working. Mr. Vargas takes his class of 24 students to ice skating. Each student pays an entrance fee to enter the rink and a $4 fee to rent skates. So I'm already thinking what my groups are. The total cost of the students to enter the rink and rent skates is $216. Write an equation you can use to find the ice skating rink entrance fee. So I'm going to pause here in about 2-3 minutes, come back and we'll check it. All right, so we have the expression F plus 4 represents what one student pays. They got to pay the fee to enter the rink and $4 to rent their skates. That's just for one kid. Mr. Vargas takes 24 kids. So we've got to take the cost of one kid and multiply it by 24. And we know that altogether they pay $216. Your last problem is a bowling alley charges $3 to rent shoes and a per game fee. So that's my over and over again thing, right? 4 friends each pay for 1 game and for renting shoes. The total cost is $28. Write an equation you can use to find the cost of a game. So think about if they're each paying for 1 game and for renting shoes, what is your group going to look like? How many groups do you need? Pause here, come back in a couple minutes to check your answer. All right, we have one person would have to pay $3 for their shoes and the per game fee, so that's 3 plus G. If you chose a different variable, that is okay. And then we know that there are 4 friends each paying that amount, so the whole thing gets multiplied by 4. And all together, they paid $28, so that's going to be equal to 28. At this point in time, I need you to do your self-assessment. If we're running short on time, skip your explanation. You know, a 4 is like, I got this, I can do the challenge problem. A 3 is, if you give me the problems that are like the notes, I'll figure it out. A 2 is, I'm going to have some questions, but that's okay. And then do your reflection. What are our key takeaways? What things did we stress during this video?